You're listening to the Vint Wine Podcast, where you'll hear interviews and stories from around the wine world. From writers and critics to winemakers and sommeliers, we'll explore the people and businesses who are instrumental in shaping wine culture. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of 5 Questions. In these quick conversations, we highlight the world-class writers, winemakers, and sommeliers featured on our full-length episodes in a quick 5-question format. We hope you learn a little bit more about the wine world and the people and companies that make it run. Enjoy. All right, we are here with 5 Questions with Peter Liem. Thanks so much for joining today.
Thank you, Billy. Glad to be here.
Question 1, what is your role in the wine industry?
I'm a wine writer and educator. I've won a James Beard Award for my writing. I'm a specialist in champagne, so 99% of what I do is champagne, but I do work a little bit with sherry as well.
Awesome. Question number 2, what do you think the most important issue facing the wine world? And you could also hone that into champagne if you prefer.
Yeah. I think in the wine world in general, it has to be climate change. This is something that affects everybody, no matter, it's not even the wine world, right? It's everybody living on this planet is being affected by climate change. And so in the wine world, we have to deal with very particular things. And in Champagne, which is historically a cool climate, marginal wine region, of course, you feel the effects of climate change very acutely. And that affects everything from your viticulture to winemaking to like the styles of wine that you make and the character of wines that you're producing. So it's really the topic that everybody is concerned about right now.
Now, this next question, we typically ask our guests to expand out of their region of expertise, but I want to know, what is 1 or 2 subregions within Champagne that you think global wine drinkers should know more about?
Subregions in Champagne. I would say the Côte d'Ivoire, except it seems to be so popular nowadays. So there are all these new producers coming up. So it seems like anybody who knows anything about Champagne is drinking like wine from the Côte d'Ivoire. So that's great. But the Coteau Sud d'Epernay is really exciting. It's this little area tucked in between the Côte des Blancs and the Vallée de la Marne. And you have wonderful producers like Lahert or Jean-Marc Select or José Michel, and then a number of younger producers coming up as well. And that's really an area to watch.
Fantastic. Question number 4, what is one current wine trend that you disagree with or don't like?
For me, I think it would have to be natural wine with a capital N. I'm as much in favor of sustainability and even organics or whatever. And I'm a non-interventionist winemaking of sustainable viticulture, all that I agree with. What I don't like is dogma. And I think that across the wine world, I think you still continue to see a lot of wines released that either have flaws or that just feel a little bit incomplete. I think winemaking is not a dirty word. I think there's nothing wrong with polishing your wines a little bit. And I think that a little bit of polish doesn't even detract from your expression of terroir or whatever it is that you want to achieve. I think it actually adds to it.
Yeah, I agree. And you are not the first guest in recent weeks to have that exact sentiment. Great. Next question. We're going to do actually extra questions this time. So question number 5, this will not be the last question. What are some vintages that stand out to you in Champagne? And these can be good vintages, bad vintages, or just ones you've experienced since you actually live in the region as well.
I think to focus on the good ones, 2019, I think, is the most exciting vintage of recent times. I think it's going to go down as one of the greats. I'm very excited about the wines coming out. I love the trio of 2012, 13, and 14. 3 very different vintages, but all with very high quality wines. And so those are wines that are still on the market and that I'll continue to seek out. And the decade before, 2008, 2004, 2002, I think are the real superstars. And then, of course, old vintages of Champagne are always a pleasure and one of the wine world's great gems.
Perfect. And then question. So we're going into the bonus. Yeah. We're going into the bonus questions now.
6 of 5 questions.
Yeah, the 6 of 5 questions. There might even be more. Who knows? What is one wine-related experience in recent years that stands out to you the most?
Besides wine, the other thing that I do is I'm a semi-professional scuba diver. And so earlier this year, I was on an expedition to recover in the Baltic Sea, to recover some bottles of 19th century champagne from a shipwreck at about 60 meters off the coast of Sweden. And that is the most exciting thing that I've ever done. I feel like everything I've prepared, or everything that I've done professionally in my life has been preparing me for this moment. And it's an ongoing project. We're going to make a big announcement about it at the beginning of next year. But yeah, combining diving and champagne in that way, especially with these old bottles from a very famous champagne house, this is really exciting to me.
Fantastic. Are you allowed to say if you tasted any or not that you brought up?
I have tasted it, yes, and the wine was spectacular.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to the news. And then speaking of special events, let's wrap up the 5 questions with not a question, but the Fête de Champagne. Chicago is happening right now as this is released.
Yes.
New York will be the next week. And then in November will be Los Angeles. Can you share a little bit about what these events are?
Yeah. So La Fête du Champagne, it's a celebration of champagne. We bring over about 30, 35 producers to each city. Chicago's a bit smaller, but both New York and Los Angeles, we'll have a completely separate roster of producers. Some of the best producers in the region coming to do tastings, dinners, or doing seminars. And yeah, this year's event is larger than ever. We have a lot of really exciting things on the program.
And I will link in the show notes to buy tickets if anybody wants to go check out these events. So thank you so much. This has been 5 Questions with Peter Liem.
Thanks so much, Bill.